Hi everyone, unconventional little video here, but I know that you guys have been crying out for 15-inch MacBook Air stuff. This is one of the things that you guys have obviously got an absolute passion for, to get bigger MacBook Airs, bigger screens, without having to go up to the Pro models. All I can assume is that Tim Cook has been watching this channel and he's been listening, and he's like, Randomness R really wants to get his family big MacBook Airs, so I guess we're going to have to make them. So let's get into this this report. This comes, I'm reading it through iMore, which the headline is Report, Apple planning 15-inch MacBook Air for 2023, larger 13-inch model and new iPad. So not quite sure how you do a larger 13-inch. But apparently that's what they're going to be doing. Let's have a look into the detail here. Now, the only reason that I spotted this is actually because I was on Twitter, because my Twitter is absolutely blown up about a thing about the fact that the Face ID thing looks like the Happy Mac, which I thought was quite cool. But yeah, it's had like hundreds of retweets, which is just bonkers. I'm not used to this. But anyway, Apple may be planning to launch a new 15-inch MacBook Air in 2023, along with larger versions of its 13-inch model and a new larger 10-inch iPad model, according to a new report. Now, 10 inches, the iPad is 10.2. The iPad Air that came out before the new design, that was 10.5 inches. So maybe that's what we're talking about here. Maybe we're talking about a 10.5 inch. But otherwise, the only one that would be larger if it went to 10 inches is the Mini, and then it's not Mini anymore. So that's a bit of a strange one. But this news comes via Ross Young, who is obviously Ross Displayman to all of us, and he's basically saying that Apple looks like it's planning to launch 15-inch MacBook Pro next year, but maybe this is actually the MacBook Air. Internal emails from Apple reveal that Apple considered a 15-inch MacBook Air way back in 2007 while Steve Jobs was still at the helm, but eventually settled on the 11-inch and 13-inch models, so that's what we got. So I've got the 11-inch. I think it's great. It's honestly one of my favourite little computers ever, and that's why I would quite like to go to like a 12-inch MacBook. I think that would be really cool. I love the 12-inch MacBook design. I know it's an atrocious computer, but I enjoy it. But here we go. So Ross is saying that there is a 13-inch and a 15-inch display panel, at least in the works, for what they assume to be MacBook Airs, because obviously the MacBook Pro is now at 14 and 16-inch and using the mini LEDs. I'm assuming that this would be a mini LED display as well, based on what we've heard about. When they say the larger 13-inch model, I can only assume that means the slightly thicker base that we've been seeing, but it's kind of uniform thickness rather than being like chunky at one end, thin at the other end, so that wedge shape that we've all associated with the MacBook Air forever. But yes, it seems that this is a potential, something that could well be coming down the line, could be our M2, but if they're saying 2023, that's really upsetting, because if that is when we're waiting for our redesign, maybe we're going to get the 13-inch sooner, and then the 15-inch will join it next year, and maybe we'll get a 27-inch iMac next year too, but I wouldn't hold your breath on that one, because as Rani Rishi said in his recent video, kind of confirming what I'd been saying, if Apple was going to do a 27-inch, they wouldn't have taken away the existing 27-inch. They would have kept it around far too long, like they always do. They would have just kind of held on to it, and it wouldn't have certainly been replaced when the Studio came out. That wouldn't make sense. But at the same time, we do still have our Intel Mac Mini sitting there, which suggests to me we must have another Mac Mini in the works. That's all I can kind of glean from that bit of information. But what do you think about this? Do you want that 13-inch MacBook Air and the 15-inch MacBook Air, more importantly, to join it? The 13-inch one, if you really want that, it's okay, you can have it. It's already here for you. But yeah, if you do want that 15-inch, sorry, this is a weird one because I'm not going to edit it at all. I'm just going to throw some images over the top. But if you want it, let me know down in the comments. And what colour would you want your iPad, your MacBook Air to be? I think we might see MacBook style or like iMac style colours, and that would be pretty awesome. Want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours? Subscribe and ring the bell.